All right, welcome, Debra. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So you were one of our graduates from the first Sacred Touch cohort.
Yes.
And you've graciously agreed to come and say a few things in front of a camera for people that might be interested in taking the program. So the first question we have is, how did you find out about the Sacred Touch training?
Yeah. How did I find out? I really cannot recall exactly. I know that I was seeing you for, craniosacral and acupuncture, and then you started the training. And how did I get to you? I think I had a couple of different sources. I don't even remember who they were, say to go to you. And I always pay attention to that when I hear, from more than one place. And so I started seeing you for sessions and was really getting a lot out of that. And so then when you were starting a training, it just, was definitely, I was very excited about that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Why did you take the Sacred Touch mentorship training?
So I have done some other trainings in the past and I have a business in a whole different field and have been engaged in that work and raising kids. And so didn't really sink into practicing craniosacral and wanted an opportunity to deepen in. I'd been looking for that and looking for a way to sort of receive additional mentorship, teaching, and had that already kind of in my consciousness when this training came in. So basically I wanted to submerge into this world and have a container that was holding me and providing a framework to learn and practice.
Okay, thank you. And so this is going to be maybe a longer question. What was your experience of the training? And there are two aspects to this. The first is, what were some of the benefits that come to mind? And then also the second part, what were some of the challenges?
Oh, wow. Let's see. I loved so much about the training. I loved that. I loved the time of it. I don't now remember how long we did this. Maybe it was over 9 months or a year,
maybe 10 months.
Something like that. It really felt like a great sinking into the work. I very much appreciated the spiritual basis of it. That's what has interested me in this work in the first place, and to have that as the foundation, I resonate with very deeply. I found that to permeate the entire training, and that is most meaningful to me. So it's this sort of, for lack of better words, tapping into spirit, and how do we do that in this embodied way? How do we meet the person in physicality and also in a bigger sense, energetically and spiritually? And so I felt that it was an opportunity to do that. And that's just very rich to me. What else? The cohort was amazing. We created this beautiful family, I felt. Just a beautiful group. I felt that we were so cohesive and came together in a wonderful way. I appreciated your teachings, Matt and Hiromi, the guidance that was there, and felt very supported and that you were very available. All of the teachings that you gave were very helpful and very interesting. And the 8 gates was something that was new and different, and just really appreciated having the experience of that. You also wrote out some kind of questions for us to ponder with each of those things. And that was fantastic to have that, to have a little write-up. Of course, I took notes, but you had a little write-up and some questions for us to deepen into those. And that was fabulous. You had a book and things written out. We learned different handholds. And So I felt like it was a really well-rounded training with this spiritual basis. We started off with meditation, and that was fantastic. We all got to really bring our personal selves and what was going on in our life. So I felt that we had this great support for each other, and as well as deepening into really learning the skill to provide something very useful for people. It was our own healing journey as well. And I had done some previous trainings and learned some different things for sure in this training, and learned some ways to be in my body that were really, really helpful, both kind of energetically and like just simple physicality ways to support myself in that realm. And Hiromi brought chanting, which was very beautiful and something that was brand new, that I hadn't experienced at all. And I just always looked forward to the trainings very much, and to the group, who we were as a whole. And it's very beautiful work. And so to be able to participate in that was very enriching. There's probably more, but it's not coming to me right now.
It's okay.
I'll bring it back if it comes.
Thank you. And what were some of the challenges?
Yeah, challenges. I think that finding time to practice, creating time to practice and to, really make this part of my life. And also I wanted, I think, to be perhaps maybe farther along than I am in my ability to really meet the person on the table and affect change. And so that's perhaps my own personal struggle rather than something to do with the training. So I felt that I didn't really find any other challenges besides my own kind of internal thing with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are considering and to offer some advanced trainings for graduates. Is that something that you'd be interested in the future?
Yeah, okay. I definitely would be.
How did this training compare to the other trainings that you've had? Just in a broad brush stroke.
Okay, right? In a broad brush stroke, I've done a couple of different trainings, similar to one, which had more of a spiritual aspect, and different than another one that was very kind of biomechanical, and this is how you do this, and this is how you do this. And so it didn't have that. It was much more centered in, kind of this aligning with my own words, or the powers that be. That was not the words that came in the training, but how to align with that, like nature's own healing, and just be in the field of that. And that's what we did, along with practicing these particular holds. So there wasn't this like, do this in the person so much. It was like, okay, here's the general idea of how I can hold and what I can be open to. And this is how I just center myself and let go.
Thank you. What would be your message to others who might be considering the program?
Gosh, I highly recommend it. I think regardless of why, because I think that it's helpful both in having one's own practice and helping other people, and in one's own personal growth process, and in joining in with a larger community. So I think if there's a call, I would say follow that call. It was just so helpful to me in many ways. Yeah, I'd say go for it.
Thank you. And finally, how are you using the skills that you've acquired or refined in the training now in your life?
Yeah, so I am doing some practice, and I think I had a lot more pressure on myself to do the work a certain way and and brought a certain anxiety with that. And so now there's more of a relaxedness and trust, and just being with the person and trusting the process as it unfolds. And it's not up to me to dictate what's going to happen. I also feel a greater intimacy with all of life. I feel a greater intimacy with myself and all of life. I don't know how else really to word that, but more available to show up for and to deeply appreciate my life and all of life and what's here. So I feel very different than when I first started the training.
Wonderful, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, one thing I'm remembering now is the end meditation, the ending retreat that we did.
Yes, that would have made it more than a year if you add in the retreat. So that we started in, I think, September, and then went through early July, and then in October we had a retreat.
Okay.
Which was not part of the training, but it is part of the program. It's part of the Sacred Touch program, and you were able to do that too.
Right. So in addition, I thought that was an incredible piece to go and be together in that deeper container, and everything that was offered there was very, very rich and beautiful. So yeah, I appreciated that you offered that as well.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.